Mosley was born in 1896 and was a member of parliament for several years, first as a Conservative and then as a Labour Party member. However, he eventually grew disillusioned with the political establishment and formed his own political party, the British Union of Fascists, in 1932. The BUF was heavily influenced by the fascist movements that were growing in popularity in Europe at the time, and Mosley's rhetoric and policies reflected this. He advocated for strict national unity, a strong leader, and a corporatist economic system. He also advocated for the suppression of political opponents, including the Jews, and the BUF was known for its violent and aggressive tactics. Despite his controversial views, Mosley was able to attract a significant following, and the BUF became a powerful force in British politics in the 1930s. However, as the threat of World War II loomed, support for the party began to wane, and it was eventually banned in 1940. It's worth noting that despite Mosley's fascist ideologies and his party's violent tactics, he did have some support from prominent figures of the time. For example, the BUF was supported by some members of the British aristocracy and even had a few members of parliament among its ranks. Additionally, Mosley had a following among the working class, particularly in the industrial cities of the north of England, where unemployment was high and economic conditions were dire. However, as the war progressed and the atrocities of the Nazi regime in Europe became more well-known, support for Mosley and the BUF dwindled. And many of its former supporters distanced themselves from the party. After the war, Mosley was arrested and interned without trial. He was released in 1943, but his political career was effectively over. It's also worth mentioning that after the war, Mosley moved to France where he continued to espouse his fascist ideologies and remained active in the far-right political scene. He founded the Union movement, which sought to unite Europe under a single fascist government. However, the movement did not gain significant support and remained a marginal political force. Mosley died in 1980 at the age of 84, but his ideas and actions continue to be a source of controversy and debate. Some argue that he was a fascist dictator in waiting, while others see him as a man ahead of his time, whose ideas were misunderstood and maligned by the political establishment. Regardless of one's perspective, it's clear that Mosley's impact on British politics and the world at large was significant, and his legacy continues to be a topic of discussion to this day. In conclusion, Oswald Mosley was a controversial figure in British politics, known for his fascist views and the violent tactics of his party, the British Union of Fascists. Despite attracting a significant following in the 1930s, his political career was ultimately brought to an end by the outbreak of World War II. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more efficient history videos.